Expect the unexpected. Hey everyone, I'm Matthew Cornwell with Get Taped here in Atlanta, Georgia, one of Atlanta's original audition taping services, which I co-own with my amazingly talented, beautiful wife and best friend, Brooke. That wasn't unexpected. And now on to our topic. Expect the unexpected. This is a pretty big and broad topic and fundamentally very easy to grasp. But the more I thought about this concept for this video, the more I realized that Brooke and I use this concept in all of our teachings in our business. In our improv classes, we're teaching our students not just to be ready for the unknown or the unexpected, but to actually embrace it. Heck, the fundamental rule of improv, yes and, could have an added meaning of say yes to the unknown or the unexpected and lean into it as opposed to shying away from it. In our on-camera classes, we're also trying to prepare the actors for the unexpected by exposing them to a myriad of obstacles that they will inevitably face on this acting journey. And once again, for those actors not to face those obstacles with fear and anxiety, but with sort of a weird familiarity because, well, I didn't know this was actually going to happen, but I knew something unexpected was going to happen. And hey, with this YouTube channel, we're trying to identify those unexpected things that actors are just expected to know and disseminate that information to you so that you're all well informed. Because the only thing we can guarantee in this crazy business is that you will experience these unexpected obstacles time and time again, all throughout your career. For instance, imagine getting on set for just a little one-page scene, and after the first take, the director decides to have the two actors switch lines. And then after a couple takes, switch them back. And then maybe add a little line here, but then switch it back to the original orientation. Meanwhile, every time they switch, it's changing the blocking for the actors and the timing. Or what if you're in a scene with Will Ferrell, and on take one, he's already improvising. And then the director, Adam McKay, starts encouraging more improv and wants everyone to start improvising, and then the scene goes completely off the rails. Or what if you have a highly choreographed walk and talk scene, and right when everyone's ready to shoot, the series regular who's in the scene opposite you decides to cut one of his own lines, thus changing the timing, and wait, we're already rolling? Action? Oh crap. Or what if production is behind schedule and it's the end of the day, and so in order to get your scene, they have to do a oneer. That just means one continuous take for the whole scene. And so you'll have to deliver everything without the benefit of coverage. Hint, you should always be able to do that, but it can still catch you off guard when you realize all of a sudden that you will not have that safety net of coverage. And yes, all of these scenarios have happened to me. And none of them are all that uncommon. But if you're stuck in a rigid mindset thinking that, now that I finally booked the job, the on-set experience will be glorious, well then you're setting yourself up for a potentially highly stressful experience. Expect the unexpected. Now, I do want to take a moment to talk about when these unexpected things might compromise your safety or otherwise are just unreasonable requests. For instance, I've had to drive cars in several productions over my career. Most of the time, though, it's safe. It's a short distance at a low speed. It's a secure area with police presence. There's a stunt coordinator or a professional driver who will show you how to work the car if there's anything funky or will at least walk you through the movements. That's a union set. In my non-union days at the early part of my career, there was one particular instance where I was driving in a car for a scene at night in a dark area with very little street lights, very rural with lots of deer potentially crossing the street. We had a camera rig on the hood, so my view of the road was obscured, and they wanted me to have this scene with my co-star in the passenger seat with all of these obstacles. Even worse, when they moved the camera to the back seat, they asked me to, hey, Matt, can you look at your passenger in the eye when you deliver your dialogue as much as possible so that they can get the side of my face from that back seat, all while driving? Can you see how unsafe that is? Now, I agreed to these shots against my better judgment, and if I felt really like my safety was in jeopardy, I should have felt comfortable saying no. I also want to apologize to my co-star, Brian Troxel, in that scene, who had to put his safety in my hands. Sorry, Brian. Once I had to learn how to edit a news broadcast live in real time for a movie. In fact, there's a still shot right back there. So there was 3 cameras, and I'm having to cut from camera 1 to camera 2 and then queue up the next camera and add graphics and change that blue screen background to the weather forecast and so forth. Now, the job was originally supposed to be done by an employee of the news station where we were shooting, but in the confusion of setting up for the scene, once they decided where I was sitting, which was perfect for camera, they realized that's the only station in the entire room that could perform all of the necessary functions that they needed, and so that burden fell on me. Now, I should have been very comfortable saying, no, I can't do that. And in fact, the director was like, why is the actor doing that? But I had years of editing experience at that time, so this actually became an exciting challenge for me. So I don't recommend you doing that unless, like me, you're an editor. So had any of these requests compromised my safety or just been an unreasonable request based on my skill set, again, I or you should feel comfortable saying no, or at the very least, asking for more clarification, asking for someone else to demonstrate the request first. Sometimes these dangerous requests are made in a devious way where they're actually trying to manipulate the actor into doing something. Nudity in a scene is the prime example. Other times, like with this TV news station example, it's just the nature of filmmaking where departments are separated, and so they don't always talk to each other perfectly, and so you can get too far into the setup before realizing that one little thing got overlooked and suddenly the actor has been placed with a heavy burden in order to get the shot. Again, say no if your safety is in question or you're just not comfortable with the task at hand. But beyond those questionable circumstances that might compromise your safety, be ready for those curveballs. Expect the unexpected because it's coming whether you like it or not. I think it was my friend Alex Collins who said, "You will never act under ideal circumstances." I love that quote. Even your self-tapes don't go according to plan. You get caught in traffic on your way to get taped, and so now you're frazzled and you only have half your time slot left. Or you're taping at home right when your neighbor decides to turn on the leaf blower. Great. Thanks, buddy. Or a million other things could happen to make your self-tape less than ideal. It's never going to be perfect. The circumstances or your performance. It's art. It's messy. So try embracing the unknown a little bit more. Get curious about what is going to be different this time, as opposed to white-knuckling it, thinking, oh, something's going to go wrong. Make sense? If you have any thoughts on this topic, please drop a comment below. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on set.